Welcome everybody to Lightnin J Outdoors. This week we're going to go to Florence, Texas, down on the Dockery Ranch with my good friend Amanda Dockery and her dad Paul. But the one thing they wanted to do was to get a management program set up, and I kind of got in there with her and was talking to her and teaching her about stuff and how I do it and how I see it. And she's really got a great herd of deer, and she has an exceptional group of 3-year-olds. And the nice thing about it is she has a place where the people around her are management minded also, for the most part. And so it's really going to be kind of easy to grow the big deer on this particular place. So anyway, we got to looking around, and you know, she had some 4.5-year-old 8 points that needed to go, which is what I'm going to go after in this hunt. I was actually going after, we had a 5.5-year-old 9 point that was on the kill list. We had a 4.5-year-old 8 point that was on the list, and of course she had several spikes. One spike in particular, who you'll see in the video, that was really on the hit list, and she wanted to be the one to take him. And there's a funny story to this hunt, and I'll tell it as we go through it. Yeah, this was a crazy hunt. I didn't think at first that I got the shot on film, and it turned out I actually did. So I was happy about that.
So a lot of times I will carry corn to the feeder with me, just in case a situation like this happens, and it happens quite often. These deer will show up a little bit early when they know that feeder's about to go off, and I really wasn't even set up yet, so I threw my corn out, was setting my camera up. What I didn't know was I was going to start a fight and all this, because, you know, it just happens that way sometimes. Somebody says something that somebody else don't like. But we got them all gathered up, got them calmed down a little bit. And now we got everything settled in, and we got some other deer starting to work their way in, and everybody calms down, and at this point the hunt is on. So what's happening here is I'm actually watching the 8 point off to my right, and I see out of the corner of my eye that big spike is actually working his way back in. And there was a certain spot that he needed to be where she could safely take the shot. And just so happens he walked right in there, and I told her to take him when she got a clear shot, and that's just how it worked out. Folks, we just did the next to impossible. We had a couple of target bucks that we were wanting to get rid of. One of them was a big spike, which was the second shot, and I'm kind of back out of the way, and we had a big 8-point, 4.5-year-old 8-point that we were wanting to take out, and we had a bigger 5.5-year-old 9-point we were actually looking for, but we decided that if that 8-point showed up, we were going to take him as a management deer, and he's a beautiful deer. And but then we had a big spike that was showing up, and we really wanted to get rid of him. She was wanting to shoot him, so we came up with a game plan, and probably not the safest idea, but I set up a bow stand about 25 yards from the feeder off to the side, and I thought I was going to get my shot yesterday, and he just turned and there was a branch in my way. Broke that branch out of the way today. He came back today, stood in almost the exact same spot, and I was able to get the shot on him, which you saw. And I watched him go off, and he's hopefully laying over there about 7,500 yards maybe. I watched him. He stopped, went off into the woods. Well, once they all it didn't spook everybody, the spike actually came back. So I told her, I said, when she get a clear shot, give me a little warning and take him. I had him at 16 yards off to my left, and of course you saw how that went. So we got a twofer today. This is the last, this is actually January 1st, and we're doing a little herd trimming. Let's go check them out. We got a couple deer down. We got one we can see. He never made it out of the field. I watched that big 8-point go over there and stand for a long time and ooze off into the trees. So we're pretty sure he's down. We're gonna follow the blood trail and find him quick. Let's do this. We shot that big old spike, and you can see laying right there. The big boy, he made it up here, but dang if I see any blood. But I know he's hit, and hit fairly good. You see this face? For those of you that know, you know what this face is. This is the face of somebody who does not have a recovery video. So I'm going to tell y'all why I don't have a recovery video. When I shot this deer, he was a quarter away from me, a little further than I thought. And what I thought was a heart-lung shot ended up being a liver shot. And I was back just a little bit to the left of what I was aiming for. So it's not a horrible shot, but not the perfect shot. And I watched him, and I had my suspicions when I watched him walk off or run off, and he stopped at the edge of the trees and just kind of stood there. And anybody who knows and been doing this long enough knows that when they stand there like that, it's a vital shot, but not the most vital shot. So that's when you have to give them a little time. And looking back on the video now, I did not wait near long enough, and that's partly my fault because I got excited. And we'd already taken the second deer, so what we were going to do was we were going to gather up the second deer, the spike, get him out of the way, and then just while we were doing that, so I'm gonna walk over here and see if I can find the 8-point real quick. Well, he wasn't there. So and then when I walked into the trees a little further, I heard him stumbling, and thought it was another deer because I actually had another deer jump out and go to hopping through the trees running, and I thought that's what I was hearing. Thinking back on it now, it was actually him, and so he pressed on, and we backed on out. And it was getting pretty dark, so we decided we would wait until dark and look for the green light, because on my arrows I have nocturnal knocks. And if you don't have them, get them.
I recommend them. They are awesome. They're awesome for knowing where your shot ends up if the arrow was passed through, and they're awesome for stories like this where you get one that doesn't bleed a whole lot but doesn't lose the arrow. We rode around till dark. We're just about to go out. We're actually just kind of sitting there coming up with a game plan. I kind of knew where he was, kind of had a feeling about where he was. I just didn't know how far he was. And it was my fault that he was as far as he was already. So I wanted to really wait. And I didn't want to wait all night because the coyotes and the pigs are real thick in this particular area, and I didn't want them getting to him. And it just so happened while we're waiting, Amanda gets a phone call. It's her cousin, and she's headed to the house. She's down the road a piece at somebody else's house, and she's going across and headed home. Well, Amanda asked her, said, "Hey, if you would, drive up the road towards my place and see if you see a green light. There's a deer on the end of it." She goes, "See if you see a green light shining down in through the trees anywhere." So she throws her little girl in the car. Little girl's five, I think, yeah. She throws her in the car. She tells her, she goes, "Hey, we're looking for a green light, so just keep an eye out." So the little girl's looking out through the trees, and she goes, and all of a sudden she hollers, "Mom, I see a green light over there." Now, when we get the phone call, she just tells us, "Hey, we see a green light. Run out the car, run out the door, go get in the truck, and I'll go down the road." Didn't bring a camera, I was just happy the arrow was at least found. So I pull up, I see her car sitting on the side of the road, and she's talking to Amanda on the phone. I pull up and I see the arrow, I see the green light. Well, when I get my light on it, the arrow was still in him, and there he lays. He was about 20, 30 foot off of the fence line, and he was buried up underneath the cedar tree, so he was done. And you know, there's no describing that feeling when you found one that you know you have hit, and you actually find him when you have trouble finding him. So that little girl who actually seen it, and still to this day will not tell you she found a deer, she found a light, because that's what we told her to look for. So she's like, "I didn't do nothing, I just found a light. I saw the green light," like y'all said. I love kids keep it simple. You know, when we get to adults, we make everything so hard. But anyway, she helped us find the deer, and that little girl is the reason, and her mama is the reason that we found that deer when we did. And so she got some nice Barbie stuff out of the deal. So we got so we didn't get any footage of the recovery, but we got some good pictures of the, you know, good pictures of after the recovery, and here they are. This is the little girl that found the light. This is the spike, and he's one that really needed to go. And this, y'all, is the 8-point. Now, he is by no means a trophy 8-point. He is sure nice. I think he's beautiful, and I'm proud to have him. But he's also being dubbed the FU COVID buck, because what it took for me to get to this point where I could actually take a deer this year with a bow was quite the battle, and that's a story in itself that I'll cover at another time. But this is my FU COVID buck. He ain't the biggest, but he's the biggest to me, and I'm dang proud to have him, and thankful for the good Lord for blessing me to get the opportunity to have him. Well, that about wraps up this hunt. So we're going to sign off. Tell everybody, if you like this video, we got more videos coming. It's taken me a little bit to get them edited, because I'm still learning that too. But if you like the video, like it. If you want to share it. Subscribe to the channel. We got some neat stuff coming up. Got some turkey hunting coming up, hopefully. Got a few pictures from a duck hunt. I actually went duck hunting for the first time, so we're going to get into all that. And then we got a bunch more how-to videos, hopefully, and a little bow shooting, and how to kind of set some of this stuff up. So like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends. And until next time, we'll see you out in the pasture somewhere.